What do you say, everybody? 14 Guitars here. Happy New Year. It's the 2nd of January 2025. It sounds pretty strange to say 2025, especially since I was born in 1962. So that seemed like a long time ago, but it was 62 years ago. Anyway, had a great, I had an okay Christmas and an okay New Year's. I was on the phone with clients in the middle of the night for both of those. But we worked our way past it, and I took a few other days off. Last night I went down to one of the Sea Islands near Edisto, South Carolina. Had a beautiful camp out, crystal clear night, surrounded by stars. Cooked a really thick pork chop on the campfire and a baked potato, and just had a really nice, peaceful night. It was the last day of deer season. And maybe thank goodness I didn't shoot a deer, because nothing ruins a deer hunt like shooting a deer, because then you got all that work to do. And so I just went home, went back to camp after sunset, after last shooting light, and just had a really nice time. Got up this morning, went straight to my warehouse, loaded up the dirt bike, and now we're headed to Enoree. So we're on our way to Enoree OHV. Enoree closes on January 6th, and I've missed it the last part of the year before and really regretted it, because it's a really pretty time of the year to ride. A little dry, but those kind of trails do pretty good when they're dry. Actually, maybe they're best when they're dry, because there's more of that red clay and less sand than down here. Enoree's up in the way up here in the state. Anyway, so I hope you all had a great Christmas. I hope you all had a good, safe New Year, and that you were able to take advantage of this time off. Go ride your bikes and spend time with family and loved ones and friends. And I'll try to get this video up before the end of January. I think what I'm going to do is ride all 5 loops one time. If I feel really froggy, I'll ride a second time. We'll see. But the way I feel right now, one seems about right. That often changes once I'm on site, but we'll see. It is nice and cool. When it's cool like that, you can put out a lot of energy and still have less fatigue than on a really hot day. So I may ride all 5 loops twice. We'll see. All right. Happy New Year, and I look forward to posting a few more videos for you. I appreciate it. If you like my videos, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I appreciate that very much, and hope you're all doing well. Bye-bye. Here we are at Enoree on the 2nd of January 2025. Yes, it's 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm going to ride all 5 loops as a warm-up and sight lap, and then decide whether to go ahead and ride the all 5 loops a second time, a little faster, a little better workout. Spent the night down on an island down near Hollywood or Edisto, South Carolina last night. It was the last day of deer season. Had a beautiful, peaceful night. No deer were harmed in the making of my of that trip. But I slept like a baby in the back of my SUV. It was 36 degrees. Woke up to a beautiful sunrise. It was crystal clear skies that night. Cooked a pork chop over a fire and just had a great time. So I hope all y'all have had a chance to take advantage of being off and get out and ride. I've already seen lots of kids here at Enoree with their little new bling on their bikes. Great to see fathers and sons and parents with their kids. I'm going to warm up on the trail. I'm not going to spend any time goofing around warming up anywhere else. This first run is really just to check out the trail, the conditions, and then decide if I want to go and ride it a little faster the second time through. All right, let's go hit the second lap of all 5 loops. Definitely won't be making any speed records today, but trying to get that workout in. can't beat the sun. It's falling fast. I do have a light, but I go so slow at the sun sets. Really the big problem is not going to be the sun setting and it getting dark. It's going to be setting and shining in my eyes. This time of year, the winter months, the sunset's really, really low. Right in your face. But I guess it's just a little rich. Not going to complain, not going to make any adjustments. Running good. A little rich just means that I'm not going to risk running my cylinder too lean and getting too hot. Harming the bike. This time of day, the temperature steadily drops. You can get a drop of 10 degrees, say between 5 and 6 o'clock in the wintertime, especially on a clear night. Once the sun is gone and there's no clouds, those clouds hold in energy on a clear night. That's why you get such cold nights when it's crystal clear. You don't have that insulation of moisture insulating the earth, slowing down the rate of radiant energy radiating back into the sky. I drank a quick applesauce. I ate a quick applesauce and a little water. And applesauce is good for really fast sugar. It's carbohydrates, right? But it's a fairly simple carbohydrate, and being all ground up, there's less solid form fiber in applesauce, of course, than in an apple, and so that carbohydrate is released much quicker, absorbed much quicker into the body. So, I mean, if you really want a really fast hit of carbs for energy, eat a piece of hard candy, something like that. You're literally putting sugar directly into your stomach. Within minutes, that starts to be available, you know, for work in the body. I don't want it to be available. I don't want this carbohydrates to be 100% available immediately. Space it out a little bit. So apple sauce gives you kind of a steady supply of energy from carbohydrates, semi-complex carbs. I mean, technically they are complex carbs, but you ground it up. You ground up the... Okay, I'm taking the left fork of the Cedar Trail. Cedar Trail is right back there. We took the right the first time, so this is new. So we won't be going too fast. You know, decent pace, but I don't know what to expect on this trail after being gone for a month. Anyway, so like I said, by grinding it up, decrease the absorption time, sped up absorption from the apple. With the fiber slowed down, and also it's ground up, so there's a lot of surface area to interact with your whatever part of your body absorbs it. I don't know how much is involved in the stomach versus the intestines. I think quite a bit is taken up of carbs are taken up in the stomach. Otherwise, I don't think they could work within minutes. For example, when you take a piece of candy, if it was in the intestines, right, it would take a little longer because it has to move out of the stomach. So we're on trail number 2. We took the left fork at the Secret Trail, and as you can see, this side might be a little more fun, a little better. I like to take the other side. I enjoy taking the other side for variety. But this might be the funner side. The chain slap you're hearing is because I'm in a fairly high gear. I'm really kind of lugging the bike. By doing that, it makes the bike a little less responsive, less likely to get out of shape. And I just want to cruise at like an 80% speed, moderately responsive. Just enjoy this last ride here of the year at Enoree. At a decent pace without any real risk. Just having a good time. I know I constantly talk about it. I guess I have become risk averse as I've gotten older, but it's only because I don't want to lose any time off the bike. You know, I lost 3 to 4 weeks off of that simple get off the other day, which was just a freak event where a stump hit me in the chest when I just flopped over on the side of the trail. A hidden stump down in some leaves. And I also had to work out of town, so what would have been 3 weeks off the bike really turned into 5 weeks, I think. Either 5 or 6, but anyway. I would have been able to ride before I went out of town for work. I had that little chest injury, cracked rib. It was a mild, very mild cracked rib, y'all. You can see it on the x-ray, down under my underarm. And then my shoulder was pushed back so fast that my scapula banged into my spine, or one of the, you know, processes. The word process is talking about a bone that comes off the side of one of your vertebrae. I think my scapula hit one of those processes. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that was a nut cruncher. I hit that root sideways. Woo. Oh. See, in the old days, you know, when you're first starting out, you hit something like that, you crash. One of the most important skills you get over time is your body has enough muscle memory to turn that from a crash into just a very painful nut-crunching event. So there's the secret trail, joins this trail right back there. So I'm back on the, which whether you would have taken the left or right fork there, this part is common. That sun is going down too. We might need to use my light. I doubt it though. I think we'll be all right. Anyway, so yeah, my shoulder got whipped backwards so fast that my scapula banged into that bone, the process bone, and put a decent bruise on it. She also thought that my left shoulder was messed up, but I've had shoulder surgery where it was completely rebuilt using the Bristow process. You can look that up, Bristow process. It's pretty amazing. If your shoulder keeps popping out of the socket, they take a piece of bone with a tendon on it, they wrap it underneath your collarbone, screw it into the ball. It becomes your, not into the ball itself, but into the socket where the ball and socket fits, and it rebuilds your socket. Like I've had chunks of my socket broken off when I was dislocating my shoulder years ago. Started with skateboarding and falling off a wall skateboarding, and then just got worse and worse over time, where it would dislocate in my sleep. I'd sleep with my arms like on my back with my arms under my head cradling, and all of a sudden I'd wake up and my shoulder would be dislocated. So she saw that mess and thought, man, you really got torn up. But that was just leftover surgery. I had the surgery, I think, in 96, 98, somewhere in there. And then in 2000, you had to go back in and remove the long titanium screw that held that all together. And I've been surfing a lot. I built up so much muscle that it took them about 2 hours to carefully dig all the muscle out of the way without hurting anything and get that screw out of there. I don't know. It took him longer than he thought. I'm not actually sure of the exact time. I just remember that my wife said he came out after surgery and apologized that it took so long. But then the surf. But you know, one thing about that surfing is it moves all of that stuff. So all of that shoulder, all that new bone, and socket all stuck together, basically healed while going through lots of, you know, full range of motion exercise with moderate stress paddling the surfboard. So consequently, it's a pretty good fit, and I haven't experienced any arthritis. It's common for people to experience some arthritis using the Bristow procedure, but if you're an active person, you tend to have far less consequences and side effects. Same thing is true of a knee replacement or knee surgery. Folks who are very active often tend to have a lower incidence of having to get the knee redone because they strengthen it so much from exercising. So all the supporting muscles and tissues take up the slack, and you become less likely to re-injure your knee. That's why I'm risk averse, just because I don't want to take a risk of not being able to do this. I probably, if I'm lucky,
will live another 20 years, 30 if I'm extremely lucky. And I would like to continue riding the bike literally for as long as I can during that time. And I know there were guys riding in their 70s. They may be taking it a little easy, but some of them are still pretty hard chargers. So, take care of your body now. It'll take care of you in the long term. Whereas the more injuries you get while you're young, those come back to haunt you. You see those guys like wrestlers, can't even walk, right? They're in wheelchairs. Not because they've, become paralyzed. They're so beat up. Everything on their body is just, they've lost all their cartilages in their legs, their backs are fused, their necks are broken, and full of scar tissue. Scar tissue interferes with how your joints articulate. So if you can avoid scar tissue throughout your life, it can only help in your later years. There's that valley again, it's so cool. There's that bright sun. Woo! A little rough. Alright, back on the two-way. Light coming on. From what I saw, everybody's coming in. I might be the last one out here. But you know, it's still out on the trail. Alright. What did we say about trail number 4? You drive straight into it. And then here you can go to the left. I guess that skips trail number 4. We're not skipping anything. We're going to try to get this done before dark. The last ride of the year here at Enoree. Good old Enoree. Enoree is the jewel of South Carolina, in my opinion. I've said it many times. I'm quite tired of hearing it. But it's such a beautiful trail, just so much fun, so much darn fun to ride. Baby's Head boulders there. Watch that a little bit. I sit a lot. I do stand exactly as much as necessary, I like to say, and not a bit more. But saves energy. And again, hair scramble 2 or 3 hours. There are sections where you can sit and rest, not use your leg muscles. One thing I have learned recently, only recently, is that you get in that classic toes in, knees not bent, knees unbent, so that your knees are behind your toes slightly. Your posture will automatically grip the bike just based on the physics of that position, using far less muscle input. So your legs won't get tired, but you'll actually get a really good grip on the bike by doing that. It's like toes in, arches, heels down, butt out. That's the one that gets me right there. That thing. That one jump, man. Huh. Something about maybe the steepness of it compared to the length of it. Hey, maybe you can turn left right there too. I'm not sure. You can check your map based on my track. See my track on the computer screen there. My course, whatever you want to call it. Compare that to the map and see whether or not that what we just passed was a section where you could turn and go back to the parking lot. A little shorter trail if you wanted. Huh. Interesting. Whew. Holy smokes. Whew. Boy, it's heavy in that position. All right, let's try this again. It's like wrestling a baby hippo. Woo! These new boots, these are new Garnet 10s, and they are not as okay. So the bike was on its side. We give it full throttle to clear a flooded bike. See how fast that worked? What that does, absolutely floods the bike with air. Blows all that fuel through there. All right, now we're going to talk about riding when you're tired or winded recovery. This is called recovery on the fly. So I'm gonna ride at about 60% and work on getting my heart rate down. You probably saw my heart rate was pretty high there from bull wrestling the bike up against those trees, and that sign was stuck in the back. So if you recover on the move, you'll save so much time compared to stopping, and you'll still recover pretty quickly. I've gone over the math before on this, but just take my word for it. If you continue to ride, even at half speed, if you're tired, versus, you know, ride at half speed if you're tired until you've recovered, versus stopping until you think you recovered and starting again, you will lose so much less time if you're trying to race, even race against yourself. You probably see my heart rate is slowly going down now. I'm still going, you know, 70% of as fast as I would be going, but I'm only trying at 60%. So I'm fairly quickly recovering. Mainly I didn't lose the strength, it was just cardio. Didn't do enough physical labor to really run out of strength, but did plenty to get the cardio way up there. Oh, that sun is bright, boys! Woo! Bright sun! Starting to get the heart rate down. A few deep breaths. I think you might notice if you use a heart rate monitor, it's amazing how if you just dump the bike slightly over, tip it back up, and have to give it a few kicks to kickstart it, your heart rate can go from like 165 to 175. You're like, man, all you've done is kick the bike a little bit. But that's because you're already on the edge of being a little bit low on oxygen already. And so when you kick the bike, you use up the oxygen you've got available. Your heart has to then speed up to essentially resupply what you just used. It would have been more than enough if you were just riding, but kicking far more energy, right, than just riding the bike. I think what happened on that one turn is I just neglected to pull my clutch. I was kind of resting my fingers because they were a little numb. I'm used to pulling that clutch in on the way into a turn, and if you don't do it, you don't get the same kind of deceleration. The engine itself, there's not a lot of engine braking in a two-stroke, right? But if you disengage the engine, you're suddenly just coasting. Then a slight amount of brake can slow your way down. Alright, so 2 trails to go here, boys and girls. rest of the 4, 5, then we will have a nice relaxing ride home of about 3 hours. Watch a little football, get a really good supper. My wife, I know, will be making something really good for dinner tonight. Not that I missed out last night, because pork chop on a campfire and a baked potato on a campfire is almost impossible to beat when you're eating indoors, especially when you're having supper off of the campfire and it's 38 degrees outside, something like that. You're sitting around the fire, cold all around you, and you've got this wonderful meal. You've had a good long hike that day, carrying a pack. Man, if you are watching this video and you've never had a meal cooked on a campfire, I challenge you to do that as quickly as possible. You go to the store if you need to, buy one of those things of wood, split it up a bit, get it burning, let it burn down to coals. Do not cook the food over the flame. Flame does not touch your food. That is unsatisfactory. It ruins it. The only flame that should touch your food is if your steak or pork chop drops a piece of fat and that flame flares up slightly. But you do not want any flames from the wood. Flames from the wood, the flame contains a bunch of gases being cut loose from the wood due to the heat, and it imparts a very bad flavor, a bitter flavor. Maybe some of you have cooked over a campfire and wondered, man, this didn't taste as good as the guys on the YouTube show. Those guys seem to really like it. Do not cook over the flame. Pull your coals out. If you still got some wood burning, move it to one side of the campfire and cook your food on the other in a nice bed of very hot, still freshly burning coals. You'll know when it's ready to flip when moisture starts to form on top. You don't need a temperature gauge, although that's nice to have. But for any kind of meat, you're going to get moisture forming on top when it's ready to flip it over. Get it close enough to the coal so that it makes some noise. Now, it shouldn't be catching on fire, but it should be sizzling a little bit. And you'll be amazed. I know that not everybody goes to the woods, right? It's just not part of your life experience, but everybody can. So if you've never done that, do yourself a favor. Treat yourself to something awesome, and that is a meal cooked on a campfire. Now here's a nice cheat you can do. You can take a baked potato in your house, a potato, coat it with olive oil and salt it. Stick it on a plate with no covering and microwave it. Take 3 minutes, then turn it over 3 more minutes. See if it's a little squishy, like a good baked potato should be. Take that and roll it up in a sheet of aluminum foil that's maybe 12 to 14 inches long. Just roll it like a scroll. Roll it like you're rolling up a rug. And then fold in the 2 sides. That does a couple things for you. One, it gives you enough of an insulation layer, the multiple layers of aluminum foil insulates the potato enough that it doesn't burn. You're going to set this potato on the coals, like on the edge of the coals. And then when you flip your steak, you're going to rotate it so the other side is sitting in the edge of the coals. By rolling it and folding it over, it makes it super easy to unwrap when it's extremely hot coming off the fire. You you just bend out the two sides and unroll it. Whereas if you fold it all up, you can have a real challenge getting the foil off of there. You get a good steak and a good baked potato, you put plenty of butter on that, that's a meal. That's a very satisfying meal. And whether you're camping or just eating in the backyard, you won't be lacking for. You know, you'll get full. Now, if you're a big guy, you might need 2 taters and a big old steak. I'm about 170. I like about a 10-ounce filet. I think that pork chop last night was probably around 8 to 10 ounces, and you know, 3/4 of an inch thick with a bone in it, and a decent sized Alaskan Arctic Gold or whatever they are potato, Yukon Gold. I prefer usually like a big old russet potato, but we had a fairly large Yukon Gold and it was really good actually. It has a very good baked potato flavor. Alright, see, all that talking has dramatically slowed my pace because the air is going to talking instead of riding. So I think I'll stop talking for a while. Please try that if you've never eaten over a campfire. Get yourself a cheap grill. It'll keep your not a grill, but a grating, right? A metal grate. That'll keep the steak off of the coals a couple of inches, 3 inches off the coals. Give it a try. That flap down, get that visor down. Bright sunlight, woo! Had a low sunshine. That shortcut when you're going into number 4. That must be for your joint. I still don't know to this day. somebody asked me the other day in my comments if I, since I ride alone, how do I deal with that? And, I take a Garmin inReach and I turn on tracking, so my wife knows. She gets a snapshot of where I am every 10 minutes. I think you can even do it more frequently than that, but that's enough. If you fall or if you stay stationary after 30 minutes, I think it stops sending new updates, but it still reads out where you are. And then if you move, it starts sending them again. So you can kind of tell how long someone's been stuck in one place. Down near me are much more tend to be more brown than gray. Same with the so in the city, squirrels are very gray, as are trash pandas, raccoons. Out on the sea islands near Edisto, they're much more brown and red, brown, red, and black. So there are a lot of extremely brown, orange, and black raccoons down there where I've got that hunting lease, where I also spend a whole lot of time camping. Tons of time just camping, not hunting, just camping out. Well, you see a raccoon there, they're much fatter, thick, beautiful coats, and just beautiful, beautiful coloration. Reds, browns, and blacks. Whereas in the city, it's to their advantage to be more gray. So the ones that are more gray tend to fit in, more camouflage, right, in the city environment. So they survive. They're more likely to survive, which means they're more likely to have offspring that survives. And you get selective pressure, so you get the process of selection, not necessarily a larger. Whoa, wow, there was a 6-inch stump right there, just like that one I landed on the other day. I just cleared it. I don't know if I can show it in the video or not. Oh, talk about a nightmare. Anyway, they're really pretty. So I'm a little surprised to see how gray that squirrel is here. But maybe in winter, up here, that's a selective advantage. It does snow up here in Enoree. Some. Not much. I'm thinking not a lot, but starts to get a little bit challenging to see. Contrast starts to go down just a little bit. dark areas, and you got the sun right in your eyes, and then you go back down into a dark area, so your eyes go, oh, sun, and so your dark vision suffers, and then you go through a darker area. You're not going to really see it on camera. These cameras are so good at correcting for light that it's a bit darker here than it looks like on the screen. My index finger is completely numb on my right hand, just covering the brake. Look at the size of those logs. Beautiful. Right after a jump. If you're flying through there, it can be very interesting. Woo. Right light. All right, we're going to go to the left again. That's the secret turn right there. That's the fork. This late in the game, I'm just going to take the same trail I took earlier today. I know what's on this trail, I know what to expect. What do we say a chicane is? It's a terrain feature that forces you to slow down. If you don't slow down for that chicane, and you consider that chicane a jump instead of a chicane, you can get ejected into the woods. It might be nice to put some kind of a slow down symbol in front of a chicane like that, because it's so high, it does kind of visually block the vision that tells you you're going to have to be making a left right after that thing. But there's no mistaking what it is when you hit it. You jump long, you're going for an interesting ride. The secret trail right there, we just merged. Alright, we're back on the only way back. Clutch work really matters. Clutch in, clutch out, clutch in, clutch out. Clutch in, clutch out. I like taking this out zone, clutch in, clutch out. Feather the clutch, clutch in, clutch out. Trail dragon. That's that one that hit my toe. We missed it. We're ready for it. All right, we're just about back. Just about to wrap it up home free. No crashes, no one little fall. Just, I would consider that more of a safe stop than a crash. A safety stop. A cautionary stop. So there's still cars here, so I guess there still could be people out on the trail. All right, and we are back. Sandwich. Listen to that baby purr. Well, that was fun. All right, last ride. Last ride, folks. If you like my videos, please thumbs up. And please hit that subscribe button. And if you do hit the subscribe button, can't talk cold mouth, make sure you hit the bell so that when I do put a video out, you'll get it. Have a great 2025, everybody. Appreciate you. Take care. Time for a sandwich.
What's up, everybody? That was a great ride. What a great ride. Conditions at Enoree are pretty good. A little bit of moisture, a little bit wet, but still really, really nice and fairly good traction. A little bumpy in the turns, but just if you get a chance before the 6th, I hope you get out, I guess, before the 7th, because the 6th is the last day. 6th of January is the last day for riding Enoree until March. They close down for maintenance. Everybody have a great, happy new year, a great 2025. I hope you're safe, happy, and healthy, and surrounded by people you love. Take care. Bye-bye.